Imagine a garden that grows, evolves, and takes care of itself. Picture a lush, vibrant oasis that thrives with minimal human intervention. A green space that not only provides nourishment and beauty, but also contributes positively to the environment. It may sound like a dream, but it's a reality made possible by a unique approach to gardening known as permaculture. At its core, permaculture is about designing sustainable systems that mimic natural ecosystems. It's about creating a garden that's not just a collection of individual plants but a complex, interconnected web of life. From the smallest microorganism in the soil to the tallest tree, everything in a permaculture garden has a purpose and a place. It's a garden where nature does most of the work, and we humans just help guide the process. This isn't a fairy tale, it's permaculture. Permaculture is an approach to gardening that's grounded in respect for the earth and its inhabitants. So, what exactly is permaculture? The term, a blend of permanent and agriculture, was coined in the 1970s by Australians Bill Mollison and David Holmgren. It's a philosophy of working with, rather than against, nature. A thoughtful observation rather than thoughtless labor. It's about seeing plants and animals in all their functions, rather than treating any area as a single product system. Permaculture is guided by three core ethics: care for the earth, care for people, and fair share. These ethics form the foundation upon which permaculture is built. Care for the earth means recognizing that all life, human and non-human, has intrinsic worth. Care for people involves creating environments and systems that enable people to thrive. Fair share, the third ethic, calls on us to limit our consumption and ensure that every living being gets their rightful share of Earth's resources. From these three ethics spring the 12 principles of permaculture. Each principle is a guideline designed to help us put the ethics into practice. They are: 1. Observe and interact. By taking the time to engage with nature, we can design solutions that suit our particular situation. 1. Catch and store energy. By developing systems that collect resources when they are abundant, we can use them in times of need. 1. Obtain a yield. Ensure that you are getting truly useful rewards as part of the work you are doing. 1. Apply self-regulation and accept feedback. We need to discourage inappropriate activity to ensure that systems can continue to function well. 1. Use and value renewable resources and services. Make the best use of nature's abundance to reduce our consumptive behavior and dependence on non-renewable resources. 1. Produce no waste. By valuing and making use of all the resources that are available to us, nothing goes to waste. 1. Design from patterns to details. By stepping back, we can observe patterns in nature and society. These can form the backbone of our designs. 1. Integrate rather than segregate. By putting the right things in the right place, relationships develop between those things, and they work together to support each other. 1. Use small and slow solutions. Small and slow systems are easier to maintain than big ones, making better use of local resources and producing more sustainable outcomes. 1. Use and value. Diversity. Diversity reduces vulnerability to a variety of threats and takes advantage of the unique nature of the environment in which it resides. 1. Use edges and value the marginal. The interface between things is where the most interesting events take place. These are often the most valuable, diverse and productive elements in the system. 1. Creatively use and respond to change. We can have a positive impact on inevitable change by carefully observing and then intervening at the right time. These 12 principles are the heart of permaculture, guiding us in creating gardens that are not only productive but also sustainable. Each of these 12 principles has a unique role in shaping a permaculture garden. Let's start with the first principle: observe and interact. This is all about understanding your environment, paying close attention to the patterns of nature, and learning to interact in ways that benefit both you and the ecosystem. Next is catch and store energy. Nature is full of energy sources, from the sun and wind to the rain and soil. By catching and storing this energy, you can create a garden that's not just sustainable, but also productive. The third principle is obtain a yield. This doesn't just mean growing food. It also refers to the many other benefits a garden can provide, like beauty, shade, and habitat for wildlife. The fourth principle is apply self-regulation and accept feedback. This means learning from your mistakes, adapting your methods, and always striving to improve the health and productivity of your garden. The fifth principle is use and value renewable resources and services. This involves making the most of the renewable resources that nature provides, like sunlight, wind, and rain, rather than relying on non-renewable resources. Next, we have the sixth principle: produce no waste. In a permaculture garden, everything has a purpose. Leftover plant material becomes compost, and even pests can play a beneficial role. The seventh principle is design from patterns to details. This means starting with the big picture, understanding the patterns and systems in nature, and then working down to the details of your garden. The eighth principle is integrate rather than segregate. This involves creating relationships between different elements of your garden. For example, you might plant a tree that provides shade for a vegetable patch or use a pond to attract beneficial insects. The ninth principle is use small and slow solutions. This means starting small, taking your time, and letting your garden evolve naturally over time. The 10th principle is use and value diversity. This involves embracing a wide range of plants, animals, and microorganisms in your garden, creating a resilient and vibrant ecosystem. The 11th principle, use the edges and value the marginal, encourages us to make the most of the edges and margins of our garden. These often overlooked areas can be rich in biodiversity and potential. Finally, we have the 12th principle, creatively use and respond to change. This means being flexible, adapting to changes in the environment, and always looking for new and creative ways to improve your garden. These principles work together, creating a garden that's a thriving ecosystem. Remember, permaculture is not a rigid set of rules, but a philosophy that encourages us to work with nature rather than against it. By embracing these 12 principles, you can create a garden that's not just beautiful and productive, but also a refuge for life in all its wonderful diversity. Permaculture isn't just theory, it's being practiced in gardens around the world. Now let's delve into the realm of practical application, where the principles of permaculture come to life, transforming ordinary spaces into thriving, self-sustaining ecosystems. Let's take a trip to a garden in the heart of Australia where the principle of catch and store energy is ingeniously applied. The gardeners here have set up an impressive rainwater harvesting system. They capture the water during the rainy season and store it for the dry months, ensuring a constant supply of water for their plants. Now let's jet off to a rooftop garden in bustling New York City. Amid the concrete jungle, gardeners here are making use of every inch of space to grow a variety of plants, demonstrating the principle of use and value diversity. The result? A lush green oasis that provides a home for local wildlife and a source of fresh produce for the community. Next, we travel to a quaint English cottage garden, where the principle of observe and interact is in full swing. The gardeners here have studied the local wildlife and chosen plants that attract beneficial insects for natural pest control. It's a perfect example of working with nature instead of against it. Over in Japan, a small urban garden is a testament to the principle of use edges and value the marginal. Gardeners here have transformed an unused corner of their yard into a productive garden, proving that even the smallest spaces can contribute to a sustainable lifestyle. And finally, we visit a community garden in South Africa, where the principle of integrate rather than segregate shines. Here, various plants are grown together, mimicking natural ecosystems. This companion planting not only maximizes space, but also enhances soil health and deters pests. These gardens are proof that permaculture works, creating spaces that are not only beautiful, but also beneficial to the environment. Each one is a testament to the transformative power of permaculture, showing us that with a bit of creativity, knowledge, and respect for nature, we can all contribute to a greener, healthier planet. Ready to start your own permaculture journey? Here are some tips to get you started. First off, composting. It's a fantastic way to recycle kitchen and garden waste into nutrient-rich soil. It's simple too. Just layer greens like vegetable peels and coffee grounds with browns such as leaves or straw. Turn it occasionally and nature will do the rest. Next, let's talk plant selection. Opt for perennials over annuals. These plants live for several years, reducing the need for constant replanting, and don't forget about diversity. A variety of plants not only makes your garden more resilient but also more attractive to beneficial insects. Now, on to garden layout. In permaculture, we design in zones. Zone 1 is the area you visit most, like your kitchen garden. Zone 5 is the furthest, often left to nature. Place elements like herbs and vegetables close in Zone 1 and more self-sufficient plants in the outer zones. This way, your garden layout works with your daily routine, not against it. Lastly, remember that permaculture is about more than just gardening. It's about creating a sustainable ecosystem. So consider incorporating elements like rainwater harvesting or a composting toilet into your design. With these tips, you're well on your way to creating your own self-sustaining garden. Permaculture isn't just about gardens. It's about creating a sustainable future. It's a journey of discovery where every step brings us closer to a world that thrives in harmony with nature. It's about embracing diversity, valuing resources, and nurturing life. It's about creating spaces that feed us, that nurture wildlife, and that regenerate the earth. So why wait? Begin your journey today. Join us in creating gardens that nurture the earth, providing food, beauty, and shelter, all while reducing our carbon footprint. Together we can make a difference.